It's harvest time. August 1st marks the first of 3 harvest festivals. This is the Celtic festival or Sabbath of Lughnasadh, or in the Anglo-Saxon tradition, the celebration of Lammas. Today on Gently Being, I'm going to be sharing some ideas for how you may want to honor this time. Some of the themes you'll want to keep in mind when you're deciding how you'd like to honor this time are themes of gratitude, blessings, harvest, growth, abundance, strength. And you want to maybe think about how this is a strong in-between time, still in summer, but moving towards the fall. So it can be a really good time to focus on what you want to manifest, or also reflecting on what you have manifested. The colors that are associated with this time are yellow, gold, brown, and green. The animals that are associated with this time are the stag, the lion, the eagle, the squirrel, and the dog. Some flowers that are associated with these festivals are marigolds, the rose, cornflower, and of course the beautiful sunflower. You may also want to think about maybe incorporating some corn into the way you celebrate, or if you create an altar, and wheat. So all things that have to do with moving towards the harvest and what's being harvested where you are. The first idea is to set up an altar space, and you can make this as simple or elaborate as you wish. You may just want to keep in mind some of the themes that I mentioned and the animals, colors, flowers that are associated with this time, and put whatever you feel really speaks to this early harvest season to where you live in your altar space. With this early harvest season, we are harvesting different things depending on where we live. So you may want to incorporate whatever is really coming to fruition and harvest at the time where you live. And you can even just set up the altar space in the middle of the table that you're going to eat your meal at, or a little spot on your bookcase, or just any little nook or cranny that you can find to set up just a little space to honor this time. So setting up a little altar space or an elaborate altar space, whatever speaks to you, is a really wonderful way to honor this time. Say a prayer for the harvest. If there's a divinity that you believe in, or even just the divine in general, you may want to say a prayer for the harvest and the bounty that you have in your life now, and then also praying for the bounty and the harvest that's to come. Share the bounty. If you make a fresh loaf of bread, or you have lots of berries that you've harvested, or any sort of big meal you're making, you may want to share it with your neighbors, share it with your friends, or share some food with a local food bank. Make corn dollies. That's a traditional craft for this first harvest festival, and you use corn husks to create little dolls. I like to think of them as Demeter dolls, because this harvest festival can very much be associated with the Greek goddess Demeter, who is a harvest goddess. So why not create a goddess doll that you can then put on your altar? I'll link down below to some tutorials for how you can construct a Demeter doll. Do a gratitude meditation. Since this is a time for focusing on the early harvests and really seeing the abundance that's around us, it can be a wonderful time for really pausing and sitting in those feelings of gratitude and giving thanks for everything that the earth and the sun and the wind and water have provided for us at this time. Go hunting for some stones to make your own rune stones, or look for a fallen branch that you think would make the perfect magic wand for yourself. Just remember that when you're going out into nature to find anything you'd like to bring home with you and is really speaking to you, to have a gentle footprint. Don't take too much, just take a little bit, and if you're looking for something like a branch, make sure that it's one that has fallen from the tree and is waiting to be picked up. Bake some bread. Lammas, which means loaf mass, was a traditional time for baking the first loaf of bread from the first harvest of wheat, and often the bread would be blessed. So if you can, you may want to bake a fresh loaf of bread and bless it yourself with any sort of prayer or meditation over the bread. And maybe you'll want to make it seasonal. Maybe there'll be some herbs that are nice and tasty around you, like rosemary bread or some sunflower bread. Make some space to do a harvest journal entry. Think about all the things that you've personally harvested over this summer, or you can think about things that you've manifested over this season. It's a wonderful time to really reflect back on what's happened in the season so far, and maybe what you're looking forward to as we start to transition into the next season. I hope this video gave you some ideas for how you can honor the first of the harvest festivals and, find the way that works best for you in your life where you are now. And it can just be even as simple as taking some time to give thanks for those first harvests that are coming into your life. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and hit the bell so you always know when there's a new video. Thanks so much for spending time with Gently Being.